keep in mind, look at it from a larger perspective of, um, anything you want to receive is this same, as Neville would call it, order then wait type scenario, where you're ordering something and it's going to arrive, and you're waiting for it to just show up, and it will just show up, whether or not you have tracking for it. I think the thing that frustrates a lot of people is you don't have that tracking information necessarily. Though I would say if it's something that involves really altering your sense of who you think you are, like a marriage or a pretty prominent job or a large amount of wealth you've never experienced before, your immediate reply, this is the heuristic I've told y'all before, your immediate reply to questions about it are a confession of your state. So if I ask you, are you married? What your immediate thought would be. So if I ask you, are you married? And you think, well, I'm trying to manifest someone that I haven't seen in 2 years. That's your state, and that's why it hasn't shown up yet. If I ask you, are you wealthy? And you say, I'm overdrawn. You think, well, I'm trying to manifest money, but I'm overdrawn in my bank account. That's your state. Or if I ask you, like, what's your career? And you are like, you immediately think, well, I have a job I hate. My boss sucks. I'm in the totally wrong industry. That's your state, okay? Now, conversely, if I ask you, are you married? And there's no evidence that this, maybe you don't even know, you don't even have a person in mind, but you immediately are like, yes, I'm deeply happily married. I have a perfect marriage. Or I ask you, are you wealthy? And you're like, I can afford anything I want. I have all the money I'll ever need for the rest of my life. I ask you, well, how is your career going? I love what I do. It's ridiculous that I get paid so well to do something that I love to do. Or if there's a title associated with the job you want, you immediately think, I am this, I am the managing director of Mustard Seed Distribution, whatever your job title would be, that's your state. So that's where you're at, that's it. If that is in aligned with what you want, then the thing you want, you're probably already in the unfolding towards it. You just don't necessarily recognize it that way, because if it may not be to your conscious mind directly related to what you want to do. Like if it's a career, you may have just gotten a job at a place that is not what you think, it's not your end, but actually your coworker is someone who in a month from now is going to get hired at the company you want to work at and refer you to get hired there, and then you're going to end up, boom, right in the position you want in no time at all. But you don't see it that way because you don't know. You don't have that full awareness. But the Father within you does know and is moving you towards that. With relationship, maybe there is something going on in you in terms of your emotions or your past that you need to release before you can have a successful and healthy relationship, because your desire is for a successful and healthy relationship. So maybe the therapy you're doing right now, or the revisions you're doing right now, those are actually your unfolding. Because if anyone's familiar with the Jericho story, you can't claim Jericho unless all the trouble is removed and only the devoted things remain. If you want to know more on that, just ask me and I'll explain more of it, because I don't want to spend 10 minutes on explaining Jericho to you right now. The main thing I wanted to talk about is something I explicitly spent a couple minutes setting up today, which is, let me move things around.